both in terms of Brooklyn and in terms of all of New York. I think in terms of Brooklyn, there was the greatest concentration of remarkably gifted black preachers that America has ever seen, and perhaps will ever see again. There were 4 or 5 men here who were remarkable preachers. And in all of New York, there was a gathering, there was a coming together of the most remarkable preachers that this country has ever seen, and which I'm sure it will never see again. And I was fortunate, blessed, to come into that kind of environment.
What is some, when you said 4 or 5?
Well, there was Sandy Ray at Cornerstone Church, and Dr. Orlando Carrington, who was at First Amy Zion Church, Claude Franklin at Mount Lebanon Church, Fred Washington, who was in the Church of God in Christ. They were remarkable preachers. And Charles Stewart, who was at People's Church. And I am told, I do not know this because I would be inside the church, in the church after service, but I'm told when our churches would conclude on Sunday morning, and they were not too far apart, there were great throngs of people in the streets of Brooklyn. Yeah.
It must have been wonderful.
It was a wonderful time.
And sometimes I think, from what I've read, the intellectual content of the black sermons was not given the weight very often in terms of the way black preachers were written about. That very often it would be, they would talk about, the white preaching sermon, intellectual content, blah, 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 but that black preachers came from a tradition of, it was all about emotion.
Yeah, no, it was not. And I think that never was true. Perhaps was true at a certain level, but the preachers who were in the major pulpits were almost all very thoughtful people, very warm people, and emotional, but very thoughtful people. Yeah.
And they had to be educated.
Yes, no question.
And brought that to their congregations, and shared that with their congregations.
No question. In Harlem, Adam Powell Sr. and Adam Powell Jr. were there, and Oakley Maxwell, and I could go on through. All of them were people of training and people of great understanding of the society.